All right, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all. Welcome to another London session live stream. And we have, we had a large movement. I mean, not too large, but we did have, this wick here from GJ entering into, the New York candle. And we had a little push up here. We have an EMA up here as well. And tapped the EMA and now it's pushing down, right? So it is in this range right here that I've drawn out here. So it's definitely respecting this range right now. Now, will it move above or not? We will have to see. We do have the 30-minute EMA up here as well. So you can see now it went from this range, right? Traded this range, went to this range. And you can see here, 1 to 1. We got the second touch, third to third. So that completed, right? Dropped below from this range into this range, and now it's in this range. Got the 1 to 1, 2 to 2. We got the third touch here. And now will we get that push down here, or will it continue up here and move into another range? So that's what we have to see here. Again, I wasn't willing to enter the setup prior to, or right at the beginning of the hour, because again, there's sudden movements that occur, and it can push us away, right? So we'll take a look and see how that goes. All right, so again, you can see now it's moving back up. So this is what we have to determine here, that has it broken out of this range, or is it still going to respect this range? And see, it's in the small consolidation zone here, right here. So 7 to 8 pips. Now I could come back and tap the EMA again. And at that point, I have to consider whether this is still a viable range or not. So that's what we have to determine. You can see the 1 hour as well could be tapped and kind of elevate itself into a larger range here. It's coming right back to the 50-minute EMA. And now you can see why the sells would have been a little riskier. Let's take a look at USD CAD as well. Let's switch over. Alrighty, so USD CAD now, on the higher time, especially the 4 hour, you can see it's a little bit, odd here in terms of the placement, but there was a range, over here midway of this larger range. So this range was dragged on, right, from Thursday to even to Tuesday evening. And now we have, kind of the touches here, 1 to 1, 2, again, range all over here, second touch, and a potential second to third touch down here, right? But again, have to be patient here. So wicking a lot here, so we could still expect another larger wick to kind of expose itself to the upside and then potentially take the setup, right? We do have the, the 4 hour EMA below and the daily as well below. So we'll be patient here. Oh, wow, look at that. So as expected, I understood that GJ was not the correct move to go ahead for the sells right here within this, smaller range here. So now look, it's going towards the 30-minute EMA, potentially to the 1-hour EMA as well, which is right here. And now you can see now if we go back to yesterday's range that we had, again, we were looking at, the buys here, which it did tap into our TP1 target. However, on the other front, let me just remove everything here. You could see now it's kind of scale up in this range and is still moving very bearish, right? Now on the daily, it can come up for a clean push up here. It can come for a clean push up here on the daily, but the certainty of it continuing to push up, there are certain confluences going against that push. So that's what we have to see. It did range within this 1 hour to 2 hour to 4 hour range here, but the bearish push definitely makes it seem that it may not go all the way up, right? So we'll have to wait and see how GJ moves along. And USD CAD, meanwhile, the sells look pretty clean here. If I was hoping to see another wick to the top side here, maybe another wick to kind of have a fake out here and then push the price down. But it seems like it may just continue to do that right away with the new 1 hour candle here. So it's exposing itself down, and GJ is probably moving up. And okay, still settling in this consolidation zone though, right? USD CAD is, so it's still in this 10, 11, 12 pip consolidation zone. So going to be patient with that. Again, GJ could move up or could potentially reject here. So if it does reject here, I think we can go for the sells here, but it's definitely looking to push. Right, GJ is definitely looking to push, but if it does respect here, how many pips away is that? About 8 pips. So let's look for a smaller stop here. But again, I do, it does seem that GJ is going to continue to move up. But if it does come back down, could we anticipate a push down here for some GJ sell stops here around? Let's look at the range here as well. Our range is 15 pips. So let's look at GJ sell stops here. What is it? 181.50. Okay. So looking for this setup here. And for the push to continue down, right? So this is one of the biases I have here for GJ. Let's show you the other way, sorry. Right here. Okay, yeah, so we may get the push down, guys, here. So let's see. 50. And it's going to be, well, this is a quick push here. Oh, wow. Okay, this might be activated sooner than later. So 12 pips. So it's going to be 12.5 pips on each end here. This might be a quick grab here. I can even see it's about 6 pips away. I could still see maybe even a slight move up here to 60, but let's keep it at 50 for now, just in case it taps us out, right? So I do anticipate GJ to move up here, but on the off chance that it rejects this 50-minute EMA, this setup will be valid, and I will enter the sell stops once. Sorry, I've entered the sell stops, but it'll activate it once it comes back down, if it does. So we do have 2 minutes left to the 50-minute candle. So if it rejects it here, it can continue the push down. And this would be at 50 here. So again, 12 pips on each end. Let's see here. Again, USD CAD is still feel like there's going to be a push above here, right? Could create a wick and then come back down, but let's see how that moves. And again, GJ is pushing up. So again, it would invalidate these sell stops, right? If it continues to push up, which again, it seems like it would, you know, that's what it would do right now. And there's about 1 minute left. So 50-minute definitely is going to close above and pushing towards the 30 minutes. So I'm just going to close out these sell stops and so forth. So let's see. Right, I had this set up here just in case we get a quick squeeze out of the this pair and it respects this range, we can come back down. But now 15 minutes is going to close above, so therefore I'm going to avoid this setup here once the 50-minute closes and you know, the new 50-minute candle opens. So we're not in this setup, guys. We're waiting for it, but it seems it'll continue the push up here. Let's see, just some seconds left to the close. Okay, here it comes. Yeah, right here. Okay, so it's continuing to push up. No wick on the current candle. Let's see. And yes, in terms of the question, yes, so the pairs move opposite. Yes, USD CAD and GJ, they do move opposite to each other, so they are inversely correlated. However, not 100% of the time, right? Depending on if there's red ticket events, fundamental events, if there is, you know, certain high volume peaks where they may move in the same direction, you have to understand that. So not always will they move opposite to each other, right? And that's through back testing and experience that you'll realize which pairs at which times most often will be moving in opposition, but there's a risk involved as well, right? So you have to be careful. All right, so the 50-minute closed above, so this all will be invalidated, no issue. We're out of that. Now it broke out of this range, and we're going towards the 1 hour EMA here. Let's see. So 30 will most likely be tapped and into the 1 hour. Still looking at what USD CAD is doing. So again, it's moving very, very slow here. I mean, look at this small range. I mean, this has been a slow week, guys, especially for USD CAD. GJ itself, you know, did push off yesterday. We had a little bit of a, you know, a little bit of a sell-off here, but essentially it's been a very, very slow week. Of course, there's been less fundamental or, you know, high impact fundamental events, so that's understandable. But other than that, look at this, 10 pips. It's been stuck in this area for almost, what, 4 hours right here. 10 pips USD CAD is, but very, very slow moving, right? We did have, you know, this push right here from USD CAD. So that was that push, but again, it continues to range in a very small consolidation zone, and this is what's been going on now with these pairs. All right, here comes GJ to pass, you know, or tap to the 30-minute EMA, and then looking to see if GJ comes to the 1 hour EMA, which would be around this target zone here, and then on the daily, you can see that it could be a clean push up here, but can't have that certainty as of yet, right? It could reject. I mean, where's the 2 hour as well? It can come all the way up here, or the 4 hour here, towards up there. 4 hour would respect, this range and come back up here, but again, we're not looking for the big moves, but sometimes we may need to look at the larger moves and the larger time frames to understand how price is moving here for us to take a potential entry. Now, from the past several days, you may have seen that GJ is on a bearish trend here, right? Continues to move bearish. It had a bearish pull yesterday as well. And so that's something to consider as well when trading either end of the range, right? So let's say if we adjusted the range up to here, you could see how it can be adjusted here as well, right? But let's keep that 15-minute range because it was respecting on the lower time frame, and on the higher time frame, let's see how that changes up things. But need to tap the 30-minute EMA first. All right, here comes the USD CAD push up here. So looking for a push up here, and then look for potential sells. GJ, on the other hand, would be a better buy situation because of this huge push out, which is a potential breakout of this 15-minute range here, and going back into the larger zone. But again, will that happen prior to London opening, or will that happen before that? So we're going to have to wait out for that. So the current 15-minute candle USD CAD has no wick. So this is one setup that we can take a look at to see if we can get something out of this. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to look at a USD CAD setup. Let's take a look. So 4 or 5 pips away. We have that as well. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, guys. So this is what I'm going to do here with USD CAD. I'm going to look for the shorts here. So USD CAD shorts. So sells. Sell stops, I should say. At, what is that, 134, 135, 1.35, 135, okay. $1.35, 135. All right, so this is what I'm looking at. So 1.35, 135. And looking for, let's see where the 4 hours, okay, right there, okay. Okay, that's way too many pips. Let's go for the smaller target here for the 1 hour. And that is, so that's a 17 pips and 17 pips. Okay, guys, so that's what I'm looking at for USD CAD. So 135, 1.35, 135. And a 17 pip TP with a 17 pip stop loss. And I will be entering these. So waiting for the tap here, right? So we could anticipate that USD CAD pushes up first, right? In the next 50-minute candle or so, and then maybe the push down. So that's what I'm looking for USD CAD. All right, so how many pips are we away here? So 8 to 9 pips away from entry. Of course, now if we get a large push up here, guys, if we're going to get USD CAD to continue the push up here, I'm going to adjust the sell stops a little higher, right? So we can get a better entry, because this does seem like it's going to come down at least temporarily to our intended target at least, right? So if this continues to push up, right, we got about 6 minutes left to the next 50-minute candle. We can get a little bit of push fly up here. That'll be much, much better for us to, you know, take a better position in terms of the sell stops. Alrighty, okay. So we're stalling on USD CAD here. Let's see the new 5-minute candle at least. Will it continue to move up, or will it push down from here? Right, so we're about 5 minutes away from our 30-minute candle opening. So new 30-minute candle opening. And here comes GJ as well, pushing up. So not certain about GJ right now, right? So we're going to let GJ move, you know, even up to the 1-hour EMA. At that point, we can decide which side to take for GJ, right? But it's definitely going to move up at least to the 181-300 zone, right? It's looking very likely. Okay, here comes USD CAD. We'll push back down. Okay, thank you for subscribing, whoever that was. Welcome to the live stream. And wow, okay, strong push here from USD CAD, tapping the current 5-minute EMA. The strong push. Could we get tapped in here? Let's bring that closer. Let me bring this closer here. Okay, we're almost in, guys. Was it 1.35? Yeah, right there. So 17 pips TP, 17 pips stop loss. Looking to let runners run once it hits TP, right? So we're gonna let runners run, but because of all the EMAs, I may not hold on for too long, or I may close out fully, right? Depending on how the pair moves. So again, it was close, but did not tap our entry. Still about 4 or 5, no, 6 pips away from entry. So again, slower moving day, slower moving week. But we have to deal with that as well. Hmm, 2 minutes left to close off the 50-minute candle. Still, some pips away, about 5 pips away before entry on USD CAD. And GJ just tapped the 30-minute candle here, or 30-minute EMA, sorry. Okay, still continuing that push up here. Alrighty. So, I guess we're going to wait until the new 50-minute and 30-minute candle opens. But overall, very, very slow moving week. Okay, here it comes. So again, I did mention that if it does push above this 135 240 zone, I'll look to adjust my sell stops, right, to a higher position. Typically somewhere here. So we can get a better entry, whilst USD CAD comes back down. But for the time being, it's still staying at 135 with a 17 pips TP and a 17 pip stop loss. Let's keep it a little bit here. Let's look at GJ. Oh, because the GJ is coming down. Okay. Now, will it push down or will it come back up? With a strong push from GJ here. It's around, it's more now, it's around 10 pips now. Yeah, roughly 10 pips. But again, is it continuing? Is this just a retracement and a continuation to the upside? Let's wait and see. And USD CAD is continuing to move up. So let's see if it gives, that push above so we can get a better entry on the sell stops here for USD CAD. Alrighty, so we're just gonna have to wait again. Let's see. Yep. Alrighty, still consolidating in the small zone here, and GJ seems to be pushing down, so it may come down to tap the 15-minute EMA here, and then again it could be in a potential range which is forming as we speak here, right? But again, very early phase. How many pips would that be? That's around what, 11, 12 pips. So yeah, it's a very small range to even trade or consider to trade for GJ. But it's a strong push down here, right? Could that just be a complete rejection, or will it continue to move up? So what I'll do here, guys, is I'm going to consider, if it does come down to the tapping area here, so I'm going to consider buying GJ because it'll be in this larger range. So I'm going to consider buying GJ. If it does come down to the EMA tap here, right? So GJ buy stops at 181. What is that? Let's see here. 181.100. Okay. All right, so I'll consider buying it here if I see GJ pushing down to at least the 5-minute EMA here. So that's a setup that I'll consider, but only if it comes down here. If it does not, then unfortunately I will not take it, right? And it's just coming right back down. So 50-minute EMA was nearly tapped, could push it right back down, and I would take the reversal here, not at the 50-minute tap, but at the 5-minute tap. I would consider the buy stops, and it would be, where's 100? Right here. So yeah, 19-20 pips clean, and 19-20 pips all the way up to here. Yep, perfect. Yep. So that would be the setup, but it would need to push down for me to consider that. So we're looking at what, how many more pips away? So 6 pips away from where, you know, we would want it to go before we enter the buy stops, and 11 pips away from the 5-minute EMA tap, right? So if it doesn't come back down, then this is also invalidated, and we're gonna have to look for something else. Now USD CAD is the only one that's still entered and waiting for a tap into entry, right, to activate the sell stops on USD CAD. All right, still have to be patient here, guys. Again, do have to consider that it's a low, you know, fundamental week, so there's not much, you know, fundamental events other than some USD and Euro, right? Especially for the rest of the week. So not much going on with the GJ pairs, or sorry, GP pairs. Yep. So that's the kind of week here. right? So now GJ just pretty much came right back up without even tapping the 15-minute EMA. And now it's potentially going to cross the 30-minute and, you know, go towards the 1-hour EMA up above here, right? So, and that's what I was trying to catch here with these buy stops, for a price to push down here, and then we can catch the buys all the way to the 1-hour EMA, and that would have been a nice setup as well, right? Completing the larger range in the frame. Now again, price can still come back down, but I'm just going to avoid this for now, because this could come right back down again, tap the 15-minute EMA, and then come back up. But let's see. GJ on the other hand, or so USD CAD on the other hand, we do have an active setup here, but it just seems to be pulling away for now. So we're going to have to wait here. Let's see. Okay, let's take a look. So DJ is pushing up. So again, you can see that this was a real-time range that it was forming right here. All right, but again, very, very small. Typically non-tradable range, smaller than the small size range for GJ typically. As I do like to set buy stops or sell stops with some breathing room. So for that reason, it's not an ideal setup. But again, I would like to trade the larger range if the price does come down to the not only the 15-minute EMA but the 5-minute EMA as well, and could see the move back up, right? So the 1-to-1, and then the second touch could be forming here, but need to enter, we would need the price to push down, and we are about 3 minutes away from another 15-minute candle opening, and then that would close off the hour into London opening. So let's see. USD CAD, again, we are in this setup, have entered the sell stops, however, it's pushing away at the moment, right? So again, nothing unexpected here as far as the smaller movement here, because initially I was looking for a push above here. We did have the wick, but did not get tapped in. But looking ideally for USD CAD is to push up here, so we can adjust our stops accordingly to get a better entry and a push down. But for now, still waiting here to be tapped in on the USD CAD sell stops. And got a couple minutes left to close off the 50-minute candle, and then let's see how the last 50 minutes of the hour prior to London opening closes off, and then how London opening volume kicks in. Right, so we could see something there. So let's see. All right, so in opening the 50-minute candle, we could see again, GJ is exhausting, its downside here, but the pull above may happen after London opening, but let's see, right? If the last 50-minute candle is strong, it may push above to the 1 hour EMA. So let's see how that goes. As far as USD CAD, trade is still entered, stops are still entered, but not activated yet. So looking to pull that. Now if the price is very close but not tapped into the sell stops, I may close, delete the sell stops and wait until an opening volume to kick in and maybe re-enter, because we could potentially see it push down and then push up and then come back down, right? So to avoid that altogether, may remove these sell stops prior to London opening, depending on where the price is at that time, right? We still have about 13 minutes to go. So we'll see how that goes. Again, GJ is consolidating around the 30-minute EMA mark. But again, could be just a small retracement and a push, to the upside towards the 1 hour EMA. All right, here we're getting the push. Again, could break to the upside to the 1 hour EMA, either prior to London opening, or we may have to wait for the London opening volume to push that up. Let's see. Again, very, very slow moving week. Right. Again, you can expect that 1 week out of the month where we have, not a lot of red ticket events, especially during London session. And we just have to bear with, the volume and so forth. So it's okay as long as we're not over trading or trying to enter too many setups in that time period, unless they're clean and clear. Other than that, the rest should be fine. But here is GJ. Could be the push above here to break out of this consolidation zone and towards the upside here. So let's see. Alrighty, so I just pushed the buy stops on the side here because earlier, as I was explaining, if you guys, did join the stream earlier, we had GJ coming down all the way up to here, right? Let's see, right here, and almost tapping the 50-minute EMA, which is just below this price, this candle here, and then we had the 5-minute candle, which was around here, or the EMA, sorry, and then I had looked at setting buy stops here to continue the move up to the 1 hour EMA, but that did not occur because it just, the next candle just kind of shot up here. So that's why the buy stops are still set aside, and the reason why I haven't completely removed them, is because I could anticipate that if GJ is in this consolidation zone here, right, and I think it's about like 11-12 pips of a consolidation zone. Yeah, it's around 12 pips. It could definitely come back down, and if it crosses this mark here, right, and breaks, below this point, I could set buy stops here, which would be right here, and then enter them for them to be tapped in and continue to move up after London opening. So, but this break over here above here, once it crossed the 50-minute, the range, broke off that, crossed the 50-minute EMA, this break above to the 30-minute EMA and to the 1 hour can be very expected, right? So nothing out of the blue here. It's just a matter of time when it breaks out of this range here, whether it pushes down first and then comes back up, or it just continues to move up, whether again prior to London opening or after London opening. And we're about 7 minutes away from that. Here comes USD CAD, so we're still in, and I also mentioned for USD CAD, the sell stops, if the price is nearing our entry here, so somewhere around here, and still we're about a minute away from London opening, I may consider closing, deleting the sell stops, and waiting for the London opening volume to kick in, so we don't just get tapped in and the price shoots up and then comes back down, right? So we don't want that to occur. Or I may decide around the the last 5-minute candle, right, instead of the last minute. Let's see. Okay, so we can see USD CAD pushing down. Okay, so we're getting a push down here. Let's see. Is tapping the 5-minute EMA right now. And GJ seems to be pushing up. Still got 1 minute left to close off the 5-minute candle. To close right at the 5-minute EMA here, USD CAD did for the last 5-minute candle to open up. And again, I still don't feel confident with this setup, just because of a very slow movement, and again, we could be wicked in and then right back into. Okay, here comes a strong pull here. All right, guys, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually delete these sell stops. So I'm deleting these sell stops and waiting for London opening to come, right? So I'm going to remove these sell stops and going to wait for London opening. So no active sell stops or buy stops in place, and we're just going to wait. See a strong push, but you could see that there's no wick on the current candle, so it can come right back up, right? So very good decision to exit instead of being tapped into this, which is around 8-9 pips of consolidation zone here. Perfect. The price would still have been around 3 to 4 pips away. So right now, that's not active. And let's see, GJ, right at the 30-minute EMA. So struggling to push up here, but definitely can push up here. We're about 4 minutes away from London opening. So we're going to be waiting here without any sell stops or buy stops in place. Removed the sell stops for USD CAD prior to London opening, as I did not feel confident with the current candle because of the way it's moving right now without any wick on the current candle. So not willing to take that risk prior to London opening, so we'll wait it out. Again, could expect a push up, a potential wick, and then the downside with a better sell stop here in place would be more convenient here. So I'm just going to move it on the side just so I don't have to rewrite the text again, but that's out of the picture right now, the sell stop for USD CAD. And GJ, yeah, is trying to just battle this 30-minute EMA and shoot up here, but it is in this consolidation zone as well here. So let's see. Yes, good morning. And yes, USD CAD is looking very, very choppy. It's been a slow week, right? So you can expect that once it does a breakout move, it could move against you because of, slower movement in the markets this week. We did have this push up, but otherwise, other than that, it's, throughout all the streams, even Monday, we couldn't take a setup. On, Tuesday, we had a very slow moving setup, and it took, hours to even close out either way. So, and GJ, again, it has moved, bearish in a range, but very, very choppy here as well. I wouldn't consider it choppy, but very slow moving. I mean, look at the amount of touches within that range, how many hours is spent in that range. So very slow moving week, generally speaking. And, that's the same reason why I even avoided the current sell stops we had for USD CAD, is because it's moving choppy. You could see now it went right back up, so it could have tapped us in. Went right back up, prior to London opening or into London opening, and just not a viable entry, and don't want to be stuck in the current consolidation zone. So let's see. So I am looking for buy stops for GJ, but I would like a push down past this 5-minute EMA now to the upside. Right, the 1 hour EMA looks promising here if the London volume doesn't drag it all the way down. But let's see. We're just seconds away. All right, here comes London opening. All right, here comes the movement here. So we could expect a push above here for USD CAD, and for GJ we could expect a push down. Let's see where the 50-minute EMA is. Yeah, right here, and maybe potentially past that, so we can set the buy stops for the longer end of the range here. We're going to wait out for both moves. Both can be potentially great moves here if we get a push down on GJ and get a push up on USD CAD. Let's see here. So let me show you guys the overall range here, right? But looking to set targets for the 1 hour EMA, right? That'll be our TP1, but not confident with how USD CAD has been moving in this small range. I mean, now it's been how many hours now, right? So since this period in time, it's been what, 8 pips. So USD CAD has moved 8 pips in, you know, the last 3-4 hours, right? So that's how slow and just, you know, just diabolic here, the way it's been moving. And that kind of explains a little bit of the week as well. Oh my god, 8 pips in. Imagine being in this trade and just having to wait 4 hours just for it to come, not right back, but just move 8 pips on both ends. Sheesh. All right, here comes GJ. Okay, we're getting a push down. So let's see on the hourly now. Now, could this be a better range for GJ? And let's move this out of the way here. Could this be a more viable range for you know, GJ to push down here and then come back up? Let's see. Which would mean the 30-minute is our tapping zone here. Now you can see even on the 2-hour here, the way it opened up as well, that there's certainty that it can definitely push down further. Now, if it is respecting the larger range, just tap the EMA here as well. Let's see USD CAD. Let's see here. Let's move that out of the way so it's more clear, the range that I'm looking at here. Okay. So again, GJ could reverse here and come up to the 1 hour, which would be the larger range here. However, if we get a push down here, somewhere in this zone, I'll be looking to get the buys here, but nothing of certain yet. So we'll wait that out. And again, I could expect a push up from USD CAD before it comes back down. Right, so to create a wick up here, as it's been wicking, but it may be a larger wick to the upside, and then you can see that USD CAD can come back in this range. Not saying it'll dip all the way down, but at least to the 1 hour EMA can be a good capture. A range over here, came up here, could see a wick up here before it comes right back down, at least to the 1 hour, and then we could see the continued push down as well. And likewise, GJ can make a push down here, all the way down here, and then the buys could be more valid here on the larger time frame here. And if you continue this, you could see the 1 hour here, that it'll be in line as well, right? So right now, GJ is caught up in this consolidation zone right here, right? It's 11 to 12 pips. We can expect a push down at least to the 5-minute EMA and below, which would respect this current range. Let me zoom into USD CAD here, see what it's doing. So USD CAD is still in that 8 pip zone, consolidation zone, looking for a push up here before we can consider some sell stops at a higher level than we had originally put down. Okay, so now GJ seems to be pushing down. You can see that here, 1, 1, so small range here, 1, 2, 2, 3. Now it could come to push down and then continue to move up. So that's what I'm looking at and anticipating. I mean, preferably would like to have a 50-minute candle close below the EMA. So that would give a little bit more confidence in terms of setting buy stops at a better zone. So let's see. Okay, so we're getting a strong push here from GJ. So let's look at the 5-minute EMA here. So it's tapping the 5-minute now. Could it continue the push down? If it does, indeed, we can look for some buy stops here. And now USD CAD is coming up as well. So everything's moving in line, just very slow. But good thing we have some London opening volume to, move the price for both pairs. Can we get a little more of a push here? Right, need a little bit more of a push here, right down. So again, from the top here, right down is what, 30 pips down. So, okay, it is coming down. So need to be very active here now. 180, what is it? So we do 950. But again, I'm just setting the buy stops. I'm not entering this into my MT5. I'm just setting it just so when price drops below the indicated buy stop zone. So that's what I'm looking for now, because I'm looking at GJ that it's going to respect this range, and if it doesn't, then I'm not going to be even looking at the buy stops. But if it does come down here to the 180 900 zone, at that point I can consider this buy stop. So I have to be patient here. So right here would be ideal. Okay, look at that push, guys. Okay. So again, I'm going to wait for price to drop below the intended buy stop zone, and for USD CAD to at least push up to the 135. I would even say 135 280, and then I could set some sell stops in line. Now we do have a 5-minute close, so if GJ pushes down past and closes below the 5-minute EMA, we could expect GJ to push down further and down to our 180 900 zone. But it seems like it's rejecting the EMA here. So if it rejects it, then it's going to reverse. But we're just seconds away. Let's see how that closes. Okay, it did close below the EMA. So we could see a push down again. Continued push. But I do it also seems that now when GJ comes down here, right, because on the 50-minute, it's still, on the 15-minute, it's still a potential wick. So GJ could definitely come down here, right? But it'll be a very fast move. So very fast, reaction here. You would have to enter the buy stops, because it seems like it's going to be very fast. The way it's moving down, it may just come right back up, but in a very, fast manner. So remember, timing is everything here. So I'm going to be looking for the buy stop. So I already have this set. I haven't executed that, because I want the price to drop below the buy stop zone. So it's already in, but it's not, entered into the MT5. So waiting for price to come down. We're about how many pips away? So 950 is over here, right? So it's about, it was about 11 pips away, but we're waiting for price to at least drop to 15, now 16, 17 pips now. And at that point, I'll be more comfortable setting the buy stops when price is at least 5 to 6 pips below the buy stops. Let's look at USD CAD. So want it to push above as well. So again, it's working in line, but very slow. But let's see. Can we get a continued push? Would be a clean range for the second tap here. Let's look at the 1 hour. Yeah, you can see on each end of each higher time frame that you can see that there was a closure of the 2 hour candle down here, 4 hour candle closure. So it can be a solid range here that can be expected for the price to come down before we set these buy stops. So this is our current play with GJ. So we're just waiting for GJ to come all the way down below our intended buy stops, which is right here, below our buy stops, and then we can go ahead and enter the buy stops. And USD CAD still looking for a push above here, above the 135 250. So looking for it to come at least come down to or come up to the 135 280 290 zone for me to consider setting some sell stops for USD CAD. Right here, GJ right now, this is the move. This is the move right now. Push down. Again, it may not because of the EMA taps here and it continues up. But I wouldn't be, confident in doing buys here just because this range seems to be respected on the higher time frames as well. Albeit that it's only 30 pips. Yeah, let's just measure that again. So yeah, around 30 pips. I mean, for all I know is GJ could be waiting for a 50-minute close that respects this EMA, but the next 50-minute candle, bursts down, taps this, and in a fast manner comes right back up, right? So that can also be expected from GJ as well. So we're about 1 minute away from a 50-minute candle closure. So it can close above the EMA, but the next 50-minute candle can push down and then come right back up, right? But it'll be very fast moving. Now, if the 50-minute candle closes below the EMA, we can definitely take a look at GJ coming down all the way down to, past the 180-900 zone. So and it seems like it may close below the 50-minute EMA. So very close call here. Again, from the bottom end of the range, it's not far off. Is 15 pips right now. So here is the 50-minute candle opening now. So again, it did close below the EMA, maybe above the 5-minute. No, even below the 5-minute EMA. Current candle has no wick, so we can definitely see and expect GJ to push down further. And if it does come down here, we're going to be looking for entering the buy stops, right? But again, this move may happen very fast. So I do have, the buy stops already ready. Just have to execute them by, entering into the market. So let's wait for that. And USD CAD, again, still stuck in a small consolidation zone, just very, very slow. So I may not even enter USD CAD just because of its slow moving, and stuck in this consolidation zone. So I'm just going to look at GJ more because it is picking up volume and it could give us a good entry at this zone, but once the price drops below the buy stops, that's the rule. Alrighty, so we can see that it's consolidating in this zone now. GJ is. It's not that strong, but it's split between the 5-minute EMA above and below. So we could see price, stalling here, but again, could give us a clean push down here as well, right, to close off the 50-minute candle. And again, that would be, leading us to prepare for this buy stop to be executed. But let's see. And for all it is that if GJ broke down here bearish all week, the move can continue bearish as well. So that's why we need a little bit of breathing room. Once GJ does come down to the 180, 900 zone, give it some breathing room, let it move freely, and then enter the buy stops. So we do need a gap between the buy stops and GJ falling below the buy stops, right? And we have to account for spread and some breathing room. So let's see how that goes. We're looking for GJ to push down at least to this level. Alrighty, and USD CAD still stuck in this consolidation zone. Alrighty. Let's move that to the side here so we can see clearly. Again, that's what we're looking for, price to reach down here so we can get our buy stops ready. You can see in this small consolidation zone right here, that's where GJ is stuck right now. But one big, bearish push can, pull it out of that. That's what, 6-7 pips. Nothing crazy. I mean, you can even look that the hour candle can definitely come down. Can definitely come down and push down to the 180, 900 zone. Yeah. So this is the current push that we're looking for GJ, is this push down here. Strong bullish candle here. Even crossed the 50-minute EMA, but again could come right back down for all we know. Alrighty, so we have some bullish pressure from GJ right now. Crossed above the 50-minute EMA as well, but is this strong enough for GJ to continue to push up, or will it suck GJ right back into the bottom end of the range and back into this consolidation zone to break out to the bottom end? We still have 5 minutes left to close off the 15-minute candle. Okay, great question. Sell stop or buy limit on GJ? So again, I like to set buy stops or sell stops only on certain orders, and I've explained that a few times before as well, but I generally like to have the price move below the buy stop. So the buy stops are not entered yet. When they enter, I will activate them to blue or dark blue as you see it, but right now they are not entered. And so what I'm waiting for is the price to move below our buy stops to activate our buy stops. If we have a buy limit, right, we'll be tapped in, right? So let's say the price comes down here, taps in, and comes back up. Of course, that'll be, the best move. But also with the buy limit, if price pushes down against us, we could be stopped out as well, right? So to avoid that, the part of the strategy that I figured out that works best is when we allow the price to move below our stops. So I only use buy stops or sell stops. Let price come below. So in this case, the buy stops, will be set. Let price come below and give it enough breathing room between the price and the buy stop entry, right? So give it some breathing room, and at that point, so let's say for example, we have 189.50 for our buy stop. So we're going to wait for the price to reach below our buy stops. And how far below? Well, we would like at least enough room where we have breathing room for GJ to move if there's a candle opening, and we have to account for spread. So generally I have 1.1 pips for spread for GJ. So if I want the price to come down here, I'm going to be looking, so 950 is where right here. So I'm going to be looking for price to at least come down 5 to 6 pips. So somewhere around 180,900 zone, right? 188.90, 180,900. Let the price come here and then set the buy stops. So I have breathing room before I get tapped into the buy stop, right? And that, and using the buy stops and sell stops in this manner has, immensely changed my profitability, right? So I'm using limit orders, but I'm using it in such a strategic way where I don't lose out and the pair goes into drawdown right away, right? So it's something that I experimented with over many months, and I found profitability through this manner, right? And it also safeguards you to a certain extent as well, right? Which the buy limit in this case would not. So for that reason. So always for buy stops or sell stops, I want the price to, move above or below with a breathing room in terms of the pips between where price can reach and when I set the sell stop or buy stop. I hope that's clear. And, from there, we can take that angle of letting price move below, setting the buy stops, and then looking for the move up. Now, I did mention one more thing in regards to the GJ momentum here, which is moving very, very bearish here, right? You can see broke out here and continues on the higher time frame to move bearish. So in looking at that as well, we also have the current candle as a non-wick candle. So we could get GJ to move back up. Also, it is closing below, right? So we do have potentially, let's take a look. Oh no, so it may close above the EMA. But again, it's still in this consolidation zone nonetheless, right here. So it can come back down. However, because of this bearish trend on GJ currently on the higher time frame, so what I'm going to do is instead of just allowing 5 to 6 pips, I may wait out for a potential larger bearish push before I set the buy stops. So I'm going to be taking a look whether there's a candle closure coming up, whether it's a 1 hour candle coming up, once price reaches here, if it does reach here. I'm going to be looking at more confluences to see whether I should set the buy stops within a 5-6 pips range between the price and where I could set it, the buy stops, or I allow the price to move past, maybe there's some bearish pressure, to the downside, and then I set the buy stops more comfortably. So that's something that will be executed in real time, but I'm just letting you guys know that that's my decision making here will change slightly because of the bearish trend on the higher time frames. Again, we have to be very, very calculated with everything, that we trade here, right? Any pair, everything, every setup, every entry, adjusting the stops, managing the trade, everything has to be calculated here for not only survival, but for profitability. I mean, if you're not here for profitability, then I don't know why you would be trading, right? So in everything that, comes along with the trading, with the real live trading, you have to take the appropriate action, right? And the correct action, because this is a long-term game. If you're here for short-term gains, you're not going to last long, and you're going to end up losing everything. So there's patience, discipline, psychology. Everything has to work in line for you to be successful. And once you gain the skill, it's almost everlasting. It's so powerful that you may not need to learn another skill to make money, right? But again, this is just a part of the process, and each day that you're learning and you're getting better and understanding the movements and adjusting, different stops, buy stops, sell stops, limit orders, instant executions, whatever you're doing in whatever capacity, you're making sure that it's disciplined, it's calculated, and there's safety along the way as well, right? So you're safeguarding your entries and not just impulsively entering. Okay. So GD came up to close off this non-wick candle. Now the determining factor here is whether GJ will push down before it comes back up, right? So that's the key here. Because if it doesn't come back down, then these buy stops will be invalidated. This potential trade idea will be invalidated because we're not going to be looking for the buy stops anymore. We're going to be looking for potentially sell stops, but I don't feel confident in the sell stops because of, if it does cross here past the 30-minute EMA, can definitely cross into, the high upper end here and then cross this end here and tap the 1 hour EMA. So there's a lot of things that could happen with GJ. You know, looking for the price to reach down here so we can anticipate setting the buy stops, but need a bearish push from GJ here to get to that. So maybe, you know, for just so, you know, even new viewers that come in and watch the streams, maybe I should write this, that it's just an idea. And once we enter, I can go ahead and turn it to blue, right? So that way it's not confusing. Again, USD CAD is still stuck in this small range, waiting for USD CAD to push up here so we could set some sell stops. And I have the idea here as well. So let me add the idea element here. So this is not yet an entry. Okay. Again, still there's conviction that GJ could push down here. It is in this consolidation zone right here. 10, 11 pips. Could it completely push down and break, you know, to the downside? That'll get more interesting because then we can start getting ready for this potential trade idea, you know, actually working out. On the other end, we have USD CAD just ranging and ranging in such a small consolidation zone, right? 8 pips here. And again, I wouldn't like to drag this stream again, you know, as I did yesterday. I mean, it went on to, I think, nearly to New York opening yesterday, right? 4 hour plus stream. So hopefully we get some pickup here, but it's just been that type of week, right? Do not want to force anything here either. If we're not getting the right entry, you know, practice good psychology and maybe come back in a different session or come back the next day. Still about 20 minutes to close off the hour. So there's certainly time for this to push down. I guess it's just a matter of time when. About 5 minutes left to close off the 50-minute candle. So let's see how the 50-minute candle closes. If it closes below here, we could get that push down in the next 50-minute candle, which would close off the hour, right? And then would set us in a good position to actually execute the trade idea here. So let's see. Alrighty, so 2 minutes left, and until the 50-minute candle closes, and it seems like we're getting a push down here. So we may close below the 50-minute EMA, and then there's a 5-minute EMA right there. So tapping that, we'll cross that as well, and push down to the 181.55 zone here for the next 50-minute candle to continue the push down. And then we could start actually realizing that, this trade idea could be a reality here. So let's see. So we just got under 1 minute left now to close a 50-minute candle. Let's look at USD CAD. Okay, USD CAD is now pushing up too. So now things are getting interesting. And we could look to have our buy stops and sell stops in order to not miss out on these setups here. So let's see. All right, so yep, 50-minute candle will close any second. Closing with the bearish, push here, and USD CAD may break out of this, zone to the upside, and then at that point we can consider sell stops for USD CAD. So let's see. Now will USD GJ come right back into this range, right? So this range right here, will it go right back in, or will it continue to push down so we can get a buy stop in order, right? So let's see. The next 50-minute candle could push down and close off the hour down here. So now again, this move can be, it can happen fast. So it can happen in this current candle, right? So the current 50-minute candle, or it may just consolidate here. Let's see. But the current 50-minute candle could come down and push back up before the hour closes in 14 minutes. So that's another decision that we have to make here, is that if price reaches down here, right, before the hour closes and comes back up, potentially tapping us, tapping our entry, do we wait for the hour to close, or do we, want all this to happen prior to the hour, and then the hour opens and maybe pushes the price down further? So do we want the price to reach down here and tap us into entry, only for the hour to open, the new hour candle to open and push us further before potentially coming back in, right? So I guess I would want the 50-minute candle to close, which would be a new 1 hour candle opening up, prior for price to reach down here. But again, even on the hourly, you can see that price can come down, right? Can come down and just merely be a wick. So it can come down, tap the buy stops, and merely be a wick, and the next hour candle can come down and push back up. So there's a lot of possibilities that GJ can play out here in our favor, but have to be ready here. USD CAD, again, no wick on the current candle, needed to push up at least up here, right, to create a decent wick, so I can feel confident in the sell stops. But again, I don't feel that confident with USD CAD right now, just because of the way it's moving, very slow, sluggish. GJ, on the other hand, has picked up here, but will it come right back into this range, or will it push down? Right, 12 minutes to go. Okay, so it seems like GJ went right back into that consolidation zone. So it's not yet out of that. Again, I personally don't mind GJ coming back up here because, again, the New York candle, when it comes down here, let's say it does come down, if it's the New York candle, I'll be more confident with setting the buy stops prior, or sorry, once the New York candle opens up, because even if it pushes down here, we can anticipate that the current candle can come right back up, right? But when a new candle, or when the current candle closes, let's say comes down here and closes in this area, taps us in, and closes around here, the next hour candle can kind of push up here and then continue down. So in that regard, I don't mind what GJ is doing, and it's respecting the consolidation zone it's in right now. But I don't mind. But again, I could see a huge bearish push down to the bottom end here, and it could happen prior to the hour candle closure, right? And I guess that's a critical decision that you have to make, whether you want to wait for the 50-minute candle, which will also be the 1 hour candle to close, or you want to enter the buy stops prior to that. So still 9 minutes to go. So let's see if GJ hangs around in the consolidation zone or it makes a push down. Likewise, USD CAD is still ranging, but it's been in a smaller consolidation zone for a large period of time now. I mean, about 4 hours now. It's barely 8 pips right here. So very, very slow moving. So yes, again, I'm perfectly fine with GJ moving as it is in this consolidation zone. And then with the New York candle, and the new 50-minute candle pushes down. And at that point, if the price does, react back into the range, we could capture this, right? So, but again, I do anticipate that GJ may push down all the way down here before the current hour candle and current 50-minute candle closes. So that's my kind of 2 cents here in terms of what GJ could do prior to the hour candle closure. Still have less than, shy of 8 minutes left to close off the hour. And a lot could happen in 8 minutes. You can see now GJ is making that push down. And we're still about 6 minutes shy of closing out the hour candle. So let's see. Does it reside back into this consolidation zone or does it push down now? We also have a 5-minute candle, new 5-minute candle opening up as well in less than a minute. You can see now GJ is making that strong push, right, which will again maybe push GJ down to the bottom end of the range, and maybe a decision has to be made to either enter the buy stops prior to the hour candle closure or after the 1 hour candle closure, and with the new 1 hour candle opening. So that's, the key marker here of before or after, waiting, or once the price reaches the 18900 zone to just enter the buy stops. And maybe the new hour candle can continue to push up, right? The reversal all the way up to the top end of the range where we see the 30-minute EMA. Alrighty. So yes, the next 5 minutes now will be very interesting if GJ continues to push down. I mean, how far is it from the bottom end of the range here? It's what, 11, 12 pips. So let's see. Current candle has no wick, so it can definitely come right back down. The USD CAD is still in this consolidation zone. But let's see. And again, no fundamental events. There is some low impact news coming up in 4 minutes, but it's nothing of high impact, so we won't need to consider it. And neither is it of the pair that we're trading, GUP or JPY, and the USD CAD pair. There is USD news, half hour into New York opening, but again, we're not trading New York session, so we'll be good for now. So 4 minutes to go. GJ is still in that consolidation zone, but again, there's no wick on the current candle. So this can all come right back down. See where the 15-minute EMA is. So the current 15-minute, candle did tap the EMA on the 50-minute time frame. And now will it close above the 5-minute EMA, or will it come right back down? Again, the current candle has no wick. We got 3 minutes left. Let's see how the 1 hour closes. But you could see now that this candle can definitely come down here, or we'll have to wait for the next, hour candle opening, and then we're looking for the pushback up, right? So that's the play here on this range. What is it now? 2 minutes left. Again, I don't mind GJ moving like this, because now if it continues the bearish push, I won't be entering, the buy stops prior to the new hour candle, right? So let it push down, let it come down here, and then I'll enter the buy stops for them to be tapped in and then continue up. So let's see here. We still have under 2 minutes left. And it is coming down. Let's see. So the current candle has no wick on the 5-minute candle. Right, so no wick. It could definitely come right back down, push down. And just under a minute left now. Under a minute left. Alrighty, so the 1 hour did not, come down to the bottom end of the range. So now we could expect, with the new 1 hour candle opening up, we could expect it to push down to the bottom end of the range here. And then we can set our buy stops accordingly, right? So here comes the New York candle. Right here. So again, can you continue the bearish push? Oh, here it comes. Wow. So some pickup of volume here. And waiting for the price to reach the 180,900 zone. Right? So 180,900, and then I have this, entered on the, haven't executed that yet, but have it place marked. So just have to enter this. But once it reaches 180,900. And USD CAD is also coming down now. Let's see. Can we get the full push? You could see that it can definitely come down here. Yeah, it can definitely come down, create a wick, come down, create a wick, and then we set the buy stops. We come down, set the buy stops, taps us in, and right there. And patiently waiting all stream for this setup. So let's see what happens here. We're about how many pips away? We're about 11, 12 pips away from, our target zone where we can actually enter the buy stops. But we need price to reach here. Let me put a horizontal ray right here. So around this area right here. So need price to reach here to set the buy stops. And that is around, from where the price is right now, around 12 pips. So 12 more pips and the buy stops will be entered. Okay, now USD CAD is making a push down. All right, so this is a waiting game now. All right, so if this is a reversal, then the GJ buy would have not have been caught. But if the push has not completed here, it can definitely come down here, and then we would be able to enter the buy stops. But let's be patient. Let's see. The USD CAD is definitely making a push right now. So this was actually our entry, 135, 135. Actually, no, it's about to be our entry. But again, this is just a trade idea. I have not set that because I still feel USD CAD can come up here and create a wick and then come back down. So that's the uncertainty level there. GJ again can come right back down. Alrighty. Still have to be patient here. Again, I did mention that I don't want to drag on the stream for too long. It's just been that type of week here where we're just not able to get a formidable setup here. So we're gonna have to be patient here. If it continues to drag on, then I may end off the stream just because it's just dragging on and we're going, towards pre-New York session and then, eventually New York session. So if we don't get this push down here, it's going to be caught up here. And at that point, we're going to have to wait out for the 1 hour EMA tap, before considering selling. So let's see how the next 15-minute candle closes. Or sorry, how it opens the next 15-minute candle, and see if we're still in this consolidation zone with GJ right here, or has it broken out of that? And look at the 1 hour right here. So yes, unfortunately, I mean, if GJ ends up over here, unfortunately, we won't be able to get a setup that I feel is strong enough for GJ. And USD CAD again, it continues to be very slow moving, so it might take until New York session for even USD CAD to move enough to capture something. So USD CAD may be a write-off, and GJ is the last kind of push here, is that it comes right back down, taps to our target zone here, so we can set the buy stops. But that's the only viable setup that I see that is probable for the time being. That we may be able to capture during the lender session. So let's see here. Okay, so we're getting a rejection of the EMA here for GJ. But again, the current candle has no wick. So this could be, coming right back up. But we do also have a 50-minute candle closure coming up in 3 minutes as well. So if this continues down here, we could anticipate that GJ pushes down all the way to the bottom end here with a potential non-wick candle up here. And if we get this full push down, it'll give us a little bit more of a confluence for a price to come back up as well. Not that there's not already enough confluences for a price to reach back up, but it's an added confluence, which, can help. So 2 minutes left for the 50-minute closure. Again, if it continues to push down, bearish, we could see price reaching down here. And, could get this entry, this buy stop entry in before, I end off the stream if it doesn't get there anymore, right? So very slow moving and very slow moving week. And, if we can't get something in, it'll be the second day out of 3 days, trading days, that where we won't be able to get something in, right? If we don't get a entry in for today. And that's pretty rare because, out of all the trading weeks, there's only been, I think, 1 or 2 where we never had an entry. But other than that, there's been an entry every single day that we were able to enter. And to some degree, majority of them were profitable, right? So our overall win rate right now, it's around the 70 to 75% area. But let's see. Don't want to be stopped out in such a slow moving kind of candle and wick and zone here, because we've been patient all stream, right? So let's see. So it's got under 1 minute left. Most likely the 50-minute candle will close below the EMA, both the 5-minute and 15-minute EMA here. So let's see. Can we get a full push down here? So the next 50-minute candle can give it a push down to our target zone here. Let's see. And again, USD CAD continues to reside in that small consolidation zone. And just to give you guys a little glimpse here, you guys can see there's an 8 pip consolidation zone, which has lasted now, what is that, almost 4.5 hours. Yeah, so very, very slow moving USD CAD. All right, here comes GJ now. So we could see a push down here now. Let's see. Again, we need it to hit our target zone down here for us to consider the buy stops. Must come down here. It's definitely doable here. Already waiting for this push. So we are about, all right, here it comes. we're about, 8-9 pips away. I kind of pushed back now, but we were about 8-9 pips away from our target zone here, where we could end up putting these buy stops, right? The 189.50 GJ buy stops. All right, looking for this push. It came very, very close to our target zone here, but it continues to consolidate in that zone. And now GJ could come up all the way to fill this non-wick candle and potentially continue the push up. But if we do get one more push down, this buy stop entry becomes a reality. So let's see, we got another 5-minute candle opening coming up. All right, so let's see how the new 5-minute candle opens up. Does it continue one more push down before price coming right back up? And guys, if it does not, if price moves back right back up here and breaks this level, then these buy stops get invalidated, and I will also end the stream as well, because then it's going to start dragging into, pre-New York to New York session and so forth. So I would not like to do that, as there are some fundamental events coming up for New York as well. But like to keep the London session streams in London only, and then in the future, if I do want to do New York session streams, I'll consider that as well. But just because it's a slow moving week, it's been very, very, very sluggish. Especially USD CAD. I can't talk enough about how slow USD CAD has been in during London sessions in the past 2-3 days. But if we don't get it set up here today, it'll be the only week out of all the weeks that I've been live streaming here. It'll be the only week where we don't have setups for 2 days out of the 3 days so far. So hopefully we do get more setups coming for Thursday and Friday, but already 2 non-trading days. But again, that also shows me, again, good psychology, good discipline, not forcing trades, right? Understanding that there will be slow moving, markets at times, and instead of putting yourself in jeopardy in a risky setup, you're just avoiding it altogether and coming refreshed the next day, right? But it's just been that type of week this week so far. All right, so again, if GJ does push up above this level here, guys, I'll call it a stream. But if it does reject this EMA and the 15-minute EMA here and pushes back down, we may have a trade setup. Again, I'm trying my best to, give something to you guys this week, especially because of the slow moving week, but just don't know if we can get something in today. So hopefully now in the next 15-minute candle opening and the 30-minute candle opening, we can see something where it gives us, more light into, GJ coming down for us to be able to enter the buy stops. But if that's not the case, then, that'll be an end for today, for the stream. So let's wait another 7 minutes or so. If it does push down, completely now in the next 7 minutes, we may be able to execute before the 30-minute and 15-minute candle closure. But if it continues to ride up here, then this would be a stream for today. That's it. So let's see. And USD CAD again, yeah, too slow. USD CAD would be brutal to enter now, so you may not get volume pickup until New York session. So GJ is the only hope right now for a setup. If not, then yep, that will be a wrap for today. So we'll continue to wait. Still, waiting for GJ to come down and hit this zone. If it does not, that's the trading plan, to come down here to set the buy stops accordingly with the range in order. If that does not occur, it doesn't follow our game plan, the price does not follow, then we don't enter and call it a stream. So still have 6 minutes left to see what happens here with GJ. Again, GJ did come up here to fill up this non-wick candle. So fill that up now. Will it continue to push up, or will it come back down? Alrighty, so the new 5-minute candle opened up right at the top, filled the non-wick candle. And now will it continue to push down, or will it continue to push up? Right, so it is still in this consolidation zone right here. But now with the, the next candle closure now, so the 15-minute and 30-minute, we're going to be only 30 minutes from the 4-hour candle closure, right? So looking at the 4-hour, it could push up all the way here before the new 4-hour candle opens up, and that will invalidate these buy stops, right? So may have to call it a stream here if it does not get there. All right, so we got 3 minutes left. Let's see how it closes. May close within the consolidation zone, but let's see. Okay, so it seems to be breaking out of that consolidation zone, but maybe not quite, but let's see. So it was around 12, 13 pips. And yep, it seems like it's breaking out of that, right? So now, again, I don't feel confident in taking sells here because we do have the 1-hour EMA above. And because of that, we could see price push up there before it comes back down. So we got 1 more minute, but it seems like price will close off above that expected, consolidation zone, or that, current consolidation zone. As GJ is just pushing up. So let's see. But it has a good, a few pips above that towards the 30-minute EMA. And so the new 30-minute candle is opening up, and it may just continue the push up. Yeah, right. So you see that it may continue the push up. So these are invalidated, the buy stops, and you guys will call it a stream. Again, if it does range within this area right here. So let me just do the pathway here. So it could range within this pathway and come right back down, but we do have the 1-hour EMA above with some wicking here as well in the top end of the range here. So we could see that before it comes right back down, right? Which would mean that this range right here would be a more better zone here. But we're still some, time away from here. And again, then we're going to look into closing the 4-hour candle and moving up. And it's going to drag on into potentially New York session as well, right? So I'll call it a stream, guys. Unfortunately, we could not get a setup, but it's really been a slower week. And again, all we can do is just be patient, practice our game plan. And with good psychology, we move on to the next day, right? So thank you for, everyone attending the live stream. Hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow again, same time, so 2 a.m. Eastern time. That's 1 hour prior to London opening. And hopefully we can get a setup, for the last 2 days of the week, Thursday and Friday. All right. Take care. Safe trading as always. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.